Hey spin enthusiasts! Welcome to the other side of my office, the side I don't usually show you because that side behind me is such a mess and I don't want you to see that. Today I'm going to show you some stuff about how to fix your silks if you tear the sleeve. I don't like to do silk work ever on flag, and if you don't know what silk work is, it's just where you take the silk of the flag and you hold the silk and you swing the pole around, and that tends to pull in the silk. And this year was the first year I actually let one of my choreographers write some silk work into our show, and our practice flags ended up looking like trash. So here's the sleeve. This is the top of the sleeve all the way down. And this happened to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, like 15 out of 21 of our practice silks that we used this year. I don't like silk work because of this, but it happens. And my thought was, oh, we're in a bigger class. We are doing more complicated stuff. We need to go ahead and have this sort of skill demonstrated. So what I'm going to do today is show you how I go about fixing these, because when we do stuff that causes damage like this, I'm not going to go spend $10 a silk on brand new practice flags to replace all of these when it's just one spot like this and we don't have a lot of money, and I don't want to raise member fees. So what I'll do is I'll go through and I'll repair all of these, and that's why I don't let my choreographers write silk work very much, because they're not the ones in here sewing these guys. So it can be difficult to get into this area. If you have a sewing machine that has a really skinny base, that's awesome. I do have a friend who has one, so I'll see if I can borrow. If not, I might end up hand sewing all of these, which is fine. A lot of times I'll do embroidery or something while we're watching TV, so my hands are doing something, but I can sit and sew these. What I'll do is I keep all of my ribbons from like gifts, anything that ribbons come on, and then I have these leftover ribbons. And I have this really long piece of white floral ribbon. It's kind of stiff, you can hear it crackling. And what I did was I cut some little strips that are the same length as the circumference of the sleeve. There's a smoother side and like a matte side, I guess. And what I'll do is I'll have the smooth side on the inside. That way the pole can slide past it a little easier. I don't actually have any scientific evidence to prove that that's what it does, but it seems like that's what it would do, and I haven't had any problems with it yet. So folding it in like so, I'm just gonna wrap it around my finger a couple times. And then I'm going to take my sleeve and I'm going to insert this. Now I find the end of it, and I like to line the end of the ribbon up with the seam, the stitched seam of the sleeve. So I will line that up like so. And then I'm going to basically just unroll the ribbon inside the sleeve. And it's going to overlap a little bit because I did make it the size of the outside of the circumference, which is okay because you're going to get more strength in that area where the pieces overlap. And then I'm going to pin that in first, which I'll do in just a second. And once I've got that pinned, I'm going to take the ripped part and I'm going to slide it over the top, and I'm going to pin that down as well. There's some other people who on YouTube who are way better at sewing than me. I have been sewing as a hobby since I was like 13, and it's been the absolute most useful hobby that I've ever had. I wouldn't say that I am the #1 best just because I haven't been doing it as a profession. Like, it isn't my career to be seamstress, and there are people who are just incredible at this. I do sew a lot of costumes. I do a lot of alterations and things for color guard specifically. And I actually, a couple of times, I made the costumes for my teams when I was just first starting out and I was working with these really small schools that didn't have a very big budget. I was actually able to just use what little money we had or could collect or could fundraise, and then I would make their costumes for them, and it was really fun. But it did take a lot of time, and I don't really have time for that anymore. I do the color guard costume alterations for the Macy's Great American Marching Band color guard, and that's a lot of fun. So just keeping my skills up is really good for me. And if you can learn how to sew, like I said, it's been the most useful hobby that I ever have had in my life. So other people who are really a lot better at sewing than me might say, well, you could just take the sleeve, turn it inside out, and stitch the two pieces together. Some of these flags, some of them are really old, and some of them are really new. I'm actually really disappointed with these newer ones because I don't even think we've used them for 2 whole seasons yet. I think they're just 1 season old and they went ahead and ripped. Granted, like I said, we had silk work and I don't like silk work, but some of these you can see I already had done that with them. I had already stitched them that way once several years ago, and that came apart. So this is kind of like the next step beyond just flipping the sleeve inside out and stitching it to itself. Those already didn't last. Like I said, silk work is detrimental to flags. Anyway, that's it. I hope you guys enjoy this. I hope this helped you out some, and I hope you guys have a good summer and good luck with your auditions or practicing or being camp or wherever you're at. Make sure that you like this video and subscribe to the channel. Every subscription that we get helps our fees for our members stay low. If you really, really like color guard and you want to be an awesome performer, an awesome instructor, go become a patron on our Patreon account. We give out instructor tips a couple times every week. Sometimes I even go more, like 3 times a week, 4 times a week. And the other thing is about being a patron on our Patreon is I actually am the only one who personally runs it, whereas like the YouTube channel, other people comment. Like we have other staff members who comment, I have some spin turns who are administrators for our YouTube and on our Facebook and so on. So if you want to talk to me, get on Patreon, come be a patron, and let me know if you have any color guard sewing questions also, because like I said, I'm going to be working on flag repairs and things all summer. Make sure you share this video with your whole staff and your whole team. Color guard is so much more fun when you do it on a team.